So it's the record 7-time. Can they find their second here? Strikeout goal as well, and that's not too far over the crossbar. It's real effort on to Chuku. And they're giving it away, and here's Dahak for Morocco, striker goal. Making deep free kick in, and really important. Moroccan men edging into the box, 3 in there now. A little flick, and then cannoned into the chest of Jefter with the delivery. Deep again, up goes Chuku, forcing Ben Shaouch into a save. Precious Benjamin it was who had it. And that's what he's about, and when he's had so little to work with. Shows there what he can do. Back out to the left-hand side. Tehwani up against Maigari. Little drop of the shoulder. Feint with the footing. He gets the cross in as well. It's over everybody, and that had to be turned behind because Mahama was lurking.
Eagles aim to seal the quarterfinal spot in the landmark of 100th AFCON appearance right there in Kenya, of course, against Kenya right there today 4 p.m. Of course, we saw the game against Morocco, and of course it ended the stalemate of a goalless encounter, right? Of course, they also won 1-0 against Tunisia, 4 points second in the Group B of the AFCON, talking about the under-20 AFCON Cup of Nations. Definitely, the gaffer himself, talking about Aliyu, promises that it will be a very difficult match, but is the match should be won. That is coming from the gaffer. Welcome to Yow Sports Center, where we give you the best of sporting stories. Of course, the games went down yesterday when it comes to UEFA Champions League, and of course, Inter Milan definitely got the spot to the final of the UEFA Champions League. Of course, we have a lot when it comes to the world of sport. Also from Liverpool, Arnold, of course, says farewell to Liverpool. And of course, a lot of controversial when it comes to Liverpool leading to Real Madrid. And we're talking about that on Yow Sports Center on Yow TV. My name is Stephen Ajay, and of course, I'm not doing this alone today. I'm here with my regular analyst, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Of course, yesterday it was a lot when it comes to UEFA Champions League, and throughout, even till today, definitely we could, once you open social media, we could see a lot coming in from both sides, Inter Milan and fans of Barcelona, and also we call them the antagonists, Real Madrid. We could see a lot of supporters from Real Madrid, trying out to talk about the match and using it against them, to the fact that they're the same league, winning the Copa del Rey against them, and a lot. But before we move on straight to the UEFA Champions League, I don't want, because we still have a lot to talk about that, but let's quickly talk about when it comes to this man himself, talking about Arnold. Of course, gave his farewell message to Liverpool fans. He says he loves Liverpool, and anywhere he goes, Liverpool is always in his heart. But definitely the man says he's ready to leave Liverpool, and of course, hopefully Real Madrid would definitely get signature of Arnold. But along the line, there's a particular story whereby Arnold was banned from Liverpool bar, some of the they call it electronic bar, whereby he needs to go on. He has been a little bit restricted, but I would say a lot of players have actually excused themselves for the team. See a couple of players saying, oh, they need to leave the team for another team, and this is not the first time of us seeing such occurrence. But why is it so huge for Arnold? The last time he said that he's leaving Liverpool, a lot of controversial talks, a lot of hatred saying, I know you should stay at Liverpool. But let's talk about what is that so much important, Arnold leaving Liverpool.
Okay, so for Arnold leaving Liverpool, the truth is Liverpool has been a club that, I think it was during the time of Coutinho, when Coutinho was trying to push for a move to Barcelona, that one of the Liverpool legends, I can't remember who now, made a statement that Liverpool makes it difficult for their big names to leave the club, because Philippe Coutinho had a lot of issues with Liverpool then trying to move to Barcelona. In fact, at some point he had to include his own money, so you understand, in the transfer, just to make sure that the transfer was possible. So in the case of Arnold is an academic player for Liverpool, so he has always been a Liverpool player, and he rose through the ranks as a teenager into the first team, and he has been a fantastic player for Liverpool. He has been instrumental to the, should I call it, revival of the Liverpool, because it was under the Jurgen Klopp era that Liverpool came back to the club that they used to be, fighting for the Premier League title, and they eventually won it at some point, and of course the Champions League, and also winning it too. So now having to see such a player leave, it can be quite emotional, because you have been used to seeing this person, and he's like one of your best players. You understand? Because he's very good, scores a lot of goals. He's very good with the crosses and a lot of other things. So there's this emotional attachment to it. That, why is he going? Why can't he stay here? Do you understand? And there's usually this debate between, and there's this issue of between players, or when you talk about passion loyalty, and ambition. Do you understand? So because you will see a Totti that played in Roma for 25 years. He was a Roma academy player, and he played with them, and he had opportunities to play with big teams, and even in the Serie A and outside of the Serie A, but he chose to stick with Roma. So sometimes some clubs would want that same kind of loyalty from other players, and it's not every player that is willing to give that kind of loyalty. You understand? Especially when you're ambitious. Real Madrid is a dream club for any footballer. You understand? Any footballer at all. Cristiano Ronaldo to struggle a little bit with Manchester United when he wanted to move to to Real Madrid.
But let's talk about Arnold leaving to Real Madrid.
Okay.
Lots of pundits and of course football fans say that moving to Real Madrid won't be regret for Real Madrid, because moving. Wait, let me pick my point.
Okay.
Because Real Madrid is a very big club. We all know Real Madrid as a very big club.
Okay.
If you go to Real Madrid as a player and you are successful, that means you are extraordinary. Will I say better player?
Yeah.
Because I can count. We have the likes of Eden Hazard moving from Chelsea, was the best player in that period of time at Chelsea at the Premier League, and of course moving to Real Madrid, it was just his shadow of himself. He was not performing at his peak. Now Arnold going on to Real Madrid. Did you think this will actually be a regret for him leaving Liverpool for Real Madrid?
I don't think so. And the issue of Eden Hazard and Arnold are two separate issues. Anybody that knows me during the time when Hazard was going to Chelsea and to Real Madrid, I said it that he was not going to perform, because you see when you talk about Real Madrid, is a top class club. So what he was doing at Chelsea, if he did the exact same thing at Real Madrid, he would be facing criticism. His best season in Chelsea, he had 14 goals in the league. That's his best season. For Chelsea. So if you do that in Real Madrid, nobody cares. Mbappe has done better than that, and he's still under criticism. Sure, you understand? It's because of the level of football. But in the case of Arnold is a right back. Do you understand? And right now, Real Madrid don't have any strong right back that can even stand Arnold. You understand? So I feel like he will just fit into the squad like perfect, and he's the kind of player that fits the Real Madrid style of play. Real Madrid is a counter-attacking football.
So you are trying to say Arnold will definitely...
Yes, Real Madrid is a counter-attacking football team. It's just like a Marcelo. Marcelo is not much of a defender. He's more of counter-attacks. So he's good with the ball. He can make good crosses. He can score himself. Arnold plays free kicks, like takes free kicks and scores free kicks. So I feel like he will do way better, even than he's doing in Liverpool right now.
That's coming from Emmanuel. Definitely a lot. It's been pain in the heart for Liverpool fans, but life have to move on. And of course, kudos to Liverpool. Salah signed a new contract, and that is a very
lucky
key
for them.
Because if Arnold Salah should leave at the same time, it would be a lot for them to resurgent back to their form. And let's go straight to the UEFA Champions League, and let's talk about Inter Milan versus Barcelona. And the first leg ended in a 3-3, and it was actually match-watching encounter. I think this is what they call UEFA Champions League, of course, seeing a two best team in different leagues come together in the UEFA Champions League. And yesterday, a lot of controversial from the last goal from the tackle from Dumfries, and of course the goal that led to the 4-3. But looking at that particular, let's start from that. Looking at that tackle, it's for me. If you should ask me, there could be a lot for us to check about that. But do you see any kind of it was being checked by VAR and confirmed that no tackle was being made? It was actually neat, and it was confirmed. But do you think that there was a little bit something going on between them?
There's nothing. In fact, if anything, I think that Barcelona are the ones that officiating has been favoring. I mean, in the first leg, Inter Milan scored a goal. Inter Milan would have won the first leg by 4-3. They scored a goal that was not was disallowed because they said it was offside. VAR checked it and they said it was offside, only for them to check after the match and see that it was actually not an offside goal. So the goal should have stand. But and the same thing happened. In fact, if you watch the game, the first half, extra time, end of the first half. Inter was in an attack. In fact, on a 1-on-1, and the referee just blew the whistle for the end of the first half extra time, which is. Which is suspicious, because even normally when the game is in play and you have a clear goal scoring opportunity, you don't end the game at that time. So I feel like it's even Barcelona that
they add more favor, right?
Yeah.
But let's talk about the game itself. What went wrong for Barcelona? What went wrong? Because it seems that Barca were actually prepared for the match, because ahead of the match, Flick has already planned that he would bench Lewandowski, you start Ferran Torres, and of course on the other hand also we had Inter Milan manager also saying that we have to hold on, we have to be able to tackle Lamine Yamal, of course, because he's the star man in the team. Both teams were ready for that particular encounter because of what happened in the first one. So what went wrong for Barcelona against Inter Milan? Because everyone was treating them as a favorite, but definitely it is what it is. So what's wrong for Barca?
Well, I don't know. I think that the idea of starting Ferran Torres ahead of Lewandowski was not much of a good idea, because first off, one of the things that counts in the Champions League is experience. I keep saying it all the time. Experience. Champions League football is different from your league football, your league cup, whatever. It's a whole world on its own. So it's experience. Now, Ferran Torres was in some kind of form, especially in the Champions League, So that probably was the idea behind starting him, and plus the fact that if Lewandowski comes in. But I feel like Ferran Torres does better usually when he comes in. You understand? He performs better when he comes in as a substitute. Although lately he did well as a starter, but generally Ferran Torres usually does better as a substitute. But I have an issue with the two teams actually. 13 goals in 2 matches. How do you concede so much? Especially Inter Milan, they threw a 2-goal lead away 2 times. In the first leg they were leading 2-0. They Barcelona came to
almost what happened in the first leg.
So almost the same thing repeated itself. I don't know why they would allow such. I feel like that's some kind of negligence, and they really need to work on it, going into the finals, because either team they play against, whether PSG or Arsenal, they are both attacking teams. So, and those are teams that can easily score 2-3 goals, much more, do you understand, in a game. So if your defense is that porous, then anything can happen. But for Barcelona, what went wrong? I just feel like it was a game of stamina, as it were, because Inter Milan had more experienced players than Barcelona. When they went into the extra time, the Barcelona player were already exhausted.
I could actually see that from the last goal from Marcos Thuram, whereby he had to use his strength, physicality to and the events of Barca were just looking like what is going on.
Even the goal that the Fratesi scored, the fourth goal. Araujo was just behind and he could not do anything. He couldn't do anything. So. And they just left the space open for him to just slot it in, and he was very calm. That's another thing. He was very calm. He took his time because he already saw the open space and then he scored the goal. So it's football. That's just football for you. Football is a crazy game.
All right, football, and that is what football is all about. And definitely today we'll see another action coming right there from the UEFA Champions League. But before we talk about that game, quickly let's go on for the short break. We'll be back. So welcome back. It's still Yow Sports on Yow TV, and definitely we're talking about sports right there. Talking about UEFA Champions League, it was a mouth-watering encounter yesterday night, and of course today also. This night is going to be the night of champions, and it seems that Arsenal fans and the players definitely will be learning a lot from yesterday's game. Arsenal against PSG against Arsenal. And definitely Dembele, so far he's training and he's fit. So there's a possibility that it's going to start tonight. Now, Paris Saint-Germain versus Arsenal. What would you say about that particular encounter tonight?
It's going to be a tough one, I must admit. But I have to say that I see Arsenal winning this time around. And the reason is because I saw the game against the first leg, and I feel like one of the major issues that Arsenal had was that they didn't have a Thomas Partey. Do you understand? Thomas Partey was suspended for that match, so he didn't play. So, and that was why Declan Rice had to fall back. He had to stay a lot deeper. Do you understand? So there was not enough pressure on the PSG defense, and even at that, they still struggled.
You're talking you're talking about a defensive midfielder as one of the problem of Arsenal.
The thing is, if
you're not talking about the attacking the goals, they couldn't get a single goal.
Nah, this is it. If Thomas Partey was in that game, Declan Rice will be able to push forward. The kind of football that Arsenal plays is a kind of game that allows just about anybody. I keep saying football is all about chances. Okay, if no matter how good the striker is, they will not score every chance they get. So if you are creating more chances, the higher the number of chances you create, the higher the opportunity you get to score goals. Do you understand now? So if the chances are being created, the goals will come in. Do you understand? It's only a matter of time. So Thomas Partey inclusion in that team alone will change a lot, because first of all, what is it called? Merino might even end up playing in the striking position because he has been used in that position. So they might probably not use Trossard at the end of the day. Trossard might come in. He's somebody that usually would even do better when he comes in as a substitute. Do you understand? So a lot can change just by Thomas Partey being available, because in the last game, first leg, all the pressure was on Saka. Do you understand? And it was easy for PSG to double up and triple up on him, because you would see Saka with the ball, you see Nuno Mendes, you see like 3 PSG defending players on only Saka. Do you understand? So there was so much pressure on him. But now when we have a Declan Rice coming up for it, in fact, it makes the work easier for Odegaard. And I said it, Odegaard has not really been in his best form lately, and I really hope somehow he is able to rediscover his form today. But if Declan Rice come up for the front, then probably Odegaard might also, get some spark and maybe to do something. Once the pressure is heavy on PSG's defense. Yes, so then.
But you actually picking out Arsenal. This is their second time being in the semi-final of the UEFA Champions League.
Yeah.
And you are picking ahead of Paris Saint-Germain, whereby they've, of course, I know it's been a while they've gotten there, but at least they've been involved in more UEFA Champions League games. And checking out Paris Saint-Germain so far, they are more better this season than Team Arsenal. If you want to rather pick on Arsenal, then we should not be talking about the players. We should be talking about the momentum. We should be talking about the belief, because Arsenal so far now, they are this kind of team that are not. They are good. They have one of the best defense in the world. But when it comes to UEFA Champions League, they are not at that particular stage when it comes to experience. You understand what I mean by that?
Well, in the case of experience, both teams don't have players that are that experienced.
But Paris Saint-Germain are the ones
and talking about momentum, I feel like Arsenal has a strong momentum too, as much as PSG. You understand? Because right now, the only trophy that Arsenal can win this season right now is the Champions League. So, and their hopes are high. Do you understand? So, and they still have a chance, because they only lost by 1 goal. 1 goal is just 1 goal. Do you understand? Arsenal can easily score 2 goals, 3 goals
against
PSG. Yeah, that's very, very possible. Arsenal has beat PSG 2-0 this season at the group stage. So anything can happen. So it's
and this is the semi-final of the UEFA Champions.
I am not disputing that, but I've just given you the facts. Okay, I've told you PSG had their full team.
Assuming you're putting on the Arsenal jersey now, I'll have said it because you are putting on the Arsenal jersey.
I would have worn my Arsenal jersey actually, but I just didn't want you to say that I know about that clothes. But the truth is, I really am rooting. And by next week, we'll have this conversation again and you will say what I know I'm saying.
Alright, that's on UEFA Champions League tonight. But there's going to be a match watching account, and of course, Mikel Arteta are ready for that particular encounter. And of course, Dembele. Yes, I'm talking about just quickly. I was actually discussing with some pundits yesterday, and looking at the Ballon d'Or. Let's talk about the Ballon d'Or so far now. In the ranks, definitely we want to pick likes of Dembele, want to pick likes of Lamine Yamal, want to pick Salah. Though they are out of the Champions League, but definitely he's doing so well. He is the best player so far in the Premier League now. Some of those pointed that no rules, no arguments. Dembele could be the next Ballon d'Or. Then the way you laughed is where I was like, I just thought about it that okay, let us check out some of the stats when it comes to players. Dembele so far is doing so well, and if Dembele wins the UEFA Champions League, he might end up winning the Ballon d'Or. Come on, now I want you to just give me some facts when it comes to the Ballon d'Or? Tell me players, because so far Real Madrid players, they're doing well, but you can actually include them, but I don't think they've actually worked up to par to get to those particular stages. So I want you to just give me some reason why you think Dembele could not, if probability they win the UEFA Champions League.
Let me say this. Look, you need to understand that the Ballon d'Or is a PR award.
Okay.
If your PR is not strong, no matter how good you are, I keep saying it, forget about it.
So that means Kylian Mbappe can win the Ballon d'Or?
Yes, very much.
That is what I'm saying.
Very much. Because if you are looking at stats, of course, what's it called? Dembele has a stronger performance than even Salah this season. Yeah, because when you talk about goal contributions, goal and assist, he has more than Salah, although Salah has more goals.
He has more goals, he has more assists.
Yes, than Salah. So, but when it comes to PR, was it last season that the last time Lionel Messi won the Ballon d'Or, what is it called? Lautaro Martinez had a better stats.
Definitely.
You understand that both Messi, no, sorry, it was Rodri. He had a better stats.
Martinez and
he had a better stats. Yes, he had a better stats than Rodri and Vinicius Junior put together. But the trophy was between Vinicius Junior and Rodri, because Rodri is playing for Spain, he's playing for Manchester City. That's PR. But Lautaro was playing for Inter Milan. Who knows? Not like we know Inter Milan is popular, but the PR is not there. So I don't from that point of view, forget it. Dembele cannot win. It's not
even if he deserves it, that he actually wins the Champions League.
I'm saying even if he deserves it, he's not going to get it. Plus, another thing about Ballon d'Or is that Champions League is a huge contributor to whether or not you can win it. However, you also need to understand that it's usually the momentum. People vote for Champions, so it's usually the momentum at the moment, at the time. Do you understand? So if Mbappe is the player that is on top form as at the time that the voting takes place, I won't be surprised if he wins it, despite the fact that Real Madrid.
That reminds me of Haaland winning 3 trophies. Also winning the UEFA Champions League. He's getting the highest goal scorer and breaking some records in the Premier League. They gave it to Messi.
So that's I don't allow me to say this, use this word. I don't rate the Ballon d'Or.
But you rather rate the FIFA World Best.
I prefer the FIFA World, even though they have their own issues too, but they are still fair than the Ballon d'Or. The Ballon d'Or is too messed up. It's too messed up. I can count series of times where they give the award. Imagine when Ronaldo left Real Madrid for Juventus and they gave the Ballon d'Or to Luka Modric. Luka Modric was nowhere near what Ronaldo did that season. Nowhere near. But they gave it to him because it's PR. It's all PR. So if you don't have the right kind of PR or you are not in their good books, forget about it.
All right, forget about it. Definitely, that's what's from Emmanuel. Of course, time will tell. Definitely,
yeah,
soon
definitely,
enough we'll begin to talk about the Ballon d'Or. But just bring in that particular update from that. But let's go straight to other stories. Definitely, Europa League would go down also tomorrow, and hopefully we could see a 2 English club in the Europa final. And 2 English club whereby that trophy is the last fate when it comes to winning something for themselves. The Premier League is, what I say, is totally so complicated when it comes to the Premier League. From the first of let me just say Liverpool, out of Liverpool, from the second down to maybe to 10, because it's the battle of UEFA competition. It's begin to you have to calculate.
If anybody can still fall out.
Anything can fall. Anything can fall out. So it's an interesting this season in the English Premier League. But hopefully, if 2 English clubs get to the final, 3-0
likely
already an advantage for Manchester United, and of course 3-1 against Bordeaux Glimt, and of course we could actually meet
in the final.
So what do you want to say about that? 2 feet rest in the hands of, I don't want to become Melin.
I understand. But I see Manchester United winning the Europa League because the semi-final is literally done for them. Because what's it called? Atletico Bilbao, even if they didn't get the red card in the first leg, they still wouldn't have won. From what I know, you understand? They still wouldn't have won. In fact, I believe that it was the red card that gave Man U some kind of respite, that they didn't put in so much again, especially when they scored the 3rd goal. They scored all 3 goals in the first half. And the second half they just they just started messing around. So if the game was still we scored our first goal while they had their 11 players now. So if the game was still, if the players were still 11-11, we would have still won the game. So coming into the second leg, they are even coming to Old Trafford. I don't see them winning. Talk less of making it to the final.
Just like the former manager of Arsenal, Arsene Wenger, saying that it is unfair for anyone who win the Europa League to also qualify for the UEFA Champions League.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know why he actually said that, but he said due to the fact that winning the Europa League, you should just be at the Europa League, not that to be a automatically qualification to the UEFA Champions League.
Well, I think things like that only make the competition juicier. You know, if you know that, okay, you just win the Europa League, for the fun of it. The drive to want to win it will not be as much as when you know that, if I win this, I can actually make it to champions. So, well, he has his belief, he has his own opinion and all, but I don't see anything wrong with it. I feel like it just spices things up. Sure, you understand.
All right, spice things up when it comes to the UEFA competition.
And Chelsea too. Chelsea, if they don't win this Conference League, I don't know what's wrong with them.
They would definitely.
They should win. If they don't, well, don't let's say they would definitely, because Real Betis is in good form. Same with Fiorentina. So and any one of them in the finals,
would
be a problem for them.
It will be a very big slap if Chelsea
that's just
the Conference League. Let us say time will tell. Of course, everything will go.
The final will be their toughest match, though. That's what I can tell you. But I still expect them to win.
All right, thank you so much, Emmanuel.
Thank you.
And we've talked a lot when it comes to the world of sport. Don't forget, tonight it's going to be the champions night when it comes to PSG versus Arsenal, and also in the Europa League we'll have the semi-final when it comes to that particular side. Of course, it's time to wrap things up when it comes to Yow Sports on Yow TV. Right, don't forget to like, comment, and share to your family and a friend. Subscribe on our YouTube channel, where you can get more updates coming in from that. Thank you so much, Emmanuel.
Thank
you very much. We'll have you more on the program. My name remains Stephen Ajayi. Do enjoy the rest of your day.